Good morning, everyone. So, we're starting off with the second chapter in Vistas, which is The Tiger King, written by Kalki. So, let's get to know the author a little bit. Kalki R. Krishnamurti is the name of the author, and he was from Tamil Nadu, the southern state of India. And he was born in pre-independence era in 1899, and he died almost 7 years after India got independence. So, most of his work is very historically relevant in those times, and since he was also a journalist, so he was very well aware of the things that are going on in his times, and he was a poet as well, he was a short story writer as well, and he was a critic as well, and he was an activist as well. So he was a very multifaceted personality and very well known in his circles, and his name was derived from the last avatar of the Hindu god Vishnu. Coming to his repertoire of writing, he has about 120 short stories, 10 novellas. Novellas are just shorter novels, shorter forms of novels. So let's say novels are of 200 pages minimum. A novella would be like say 100 pages or 100 pages, 100 pages, or let's say 80 to 100 pages would be a novella. So they are shorter than novels and bigger than short stories. So bigger than short stories and shorter than novels. He has also written 3 historical romances. What are historical romances? Historical romances are those stories which have love between two people and also has a historical background to it. So let's say something very major is happening in those times. In those times, during those tumultuous times, we have the story of two people, or maybe more people in love with each other. Those are historical romances, and he has also written some editorials and political writings, and has also written some films and movie reviews. This book particularly, Ponniyin Selvan, is very famous in Tamil Nadu. I think there was a movie as well. I don't know if it was based on this, but it was a very famous thing. And Kalki's short stories, selected short stories, are definitely worth reading because his style is definitely very unique. Now, coming to the chapter, The Tiger King. So this is the title of the chapter, The Tiger King. That's it. And it's a political satire. Okay. So definitely when Kalki was living in his times, there were kings and kingdoms. Okay. So it's not like today, we don't get to see kings and kingdoms anymore. But during his times, he definitely saw those things. And so this is a story about one of those kingdoms. Although it's fiction, but it is definitely rooted in reality because it is a satire. So what is satire? Satire is a literary genre. Okay, it's not a literary term like let's say irony, when it's using it's a whole genre in itself which uses things like irony, wit and pun and conceits and those things to ridicule the authority. So it is punching up. So any writing, any form of text, any, be it a video, be it an audio, anything, text doesn't just mean written text. Okay, so when I say text can mean anything from video to, because this is whatever you're going to study. Okay, whatever you're going to make an impression on, that can be a text. A picture can be a text. So that's, if you're going to study a picture, that can be your text. So any text that is ridiculing the higher authority for their follies, for their ill wills, for their pompousness, for their bigger than, larger than life existence, which is usually only for themselves, punching up. So trying to punch above their weight, whatever writing is doing, that is a satire. So satire is usually used to not directly read. So whatever you're whoever you're ridiculing is definitely a person in power. So if you just go ahead and say things on their face, they will definitely make you pay for it. And so that is why they use this term, they use this literary genre of satire, but they're not directly ridiculing, but the message is being conveyed to the public that whatever I'm trying to tell you, all you are understanding what I'm saying, but I'm not directly saying it to the king. So there is one king and he used to do this. right? So the foolishness, the foolish pursuit, everything is depicted through stories, and the message is automatically translated. Okay, you don't have to explicitly say it. So a satire on the is a satire on the conceit of those in power. Tiger King. Most of the times, the rulers are not interested in serving the people or work for the welfare of the public. Instead, they spend their time in foolish pursuits. Here is a story about transience of life, of power, and reverberates the maxim: too many slips between the cup and the lip. So this maxim is just uh, basically just means that anything can happen between that small gap between you taking the drink and bringing the cup to your lips. Okay, so there is a story behind that, that how it came about, that there was a king, and one slave said to the king that he that king used to love wine. Okay, so he used to grow grapes in his graveyard and all that. There was one slave who said that you will die before you drink any wine from this graveyard. So the king definitely, took offense at it, and said, okay, I will see you after I drink my wine from this vineyard. So he worked hard, got that wine made, and he got it in a glass. And as soon as he was about to drink it, he got that. He called that slave. You come here. See, I'm going to drink that wine, and I'm not gonna. I'm still alive. So then the slave said, too many slips can happen. Too many things can happen between the cup and the lip. So as soon as he was about to drink, so there was a news that came that a bear has come, or any animal you can put, that a bear has attacked the graveyard, and graveyard, no, not the graveyard, vineyard. Have I been saying the graveyard? Vineyard. It's vineyard. It's not graveyard. So has attacked the vineyard. So the king immediately puts his drink back and says, okay, I'll go and fight the bear first. I'll kill him, and then I'll come back and finish my drink. So obviously the king went, and he was killed in the fight with the bear. And that's what. So even in that short frame of time between, he was just about to drink that drink, but he could not finish it, could not drink, because major things can happen in small amount of time. So the Tiger King. I hope all of you have listened to that audio that I made with a lot of hard work. I don't know. It doesn't seem that hard doing that hard, but it is. It takes a lot of time. I don't know why. So you did not give me any feedback as well, whether it helped you or not. So assuming that you have read the story now with the help of that audio, we talk about the story. So the story revolves around the king, and it was born. When it was born, there was a miracle that happened, that he spoke only when he was 10 years old, and there was a prediction that he will be killed by a tiger. And then his only pursuit in life was to kill 100 tigers, because that is what the astrologer said, that you will die because the cause of your death will be the 100th tiger. So the only pursuit in his life was to kill 100 tigers. So he ignored everything, ignored his family, ignored his kingdom, ignored the people of the kingdom, just wanted to kill tigers. So this also is a satire on how powerful people are, and how they function only for themselves. So then obviously there's a climax in the story, that when as soon as he shot the bullet at the tiger, it missed him, and the tiger fainted. Or the tiger king thought, the Maharaja thought that the tiger is dead. So he went home, and but he had not killed the 100 tiger yet, but only he did not know that. Everybody else around his kingdom knew that he had missed that bullet. But finally he got a wooden tiger toy for his child, for his son, 3-year-old son. And it was with it that he got a sliver pierced his hand, and he got an infection, and he died because of that infection. So he eventually did die because of the 100 tiger. So this is what the story is all about. Now we get to the other things in the story, how we analyze the story. So the title is obviously the best title it could be. It's the most obvious title. He wanted to kill. He killed 99 tigers actually, and just to fulfill his vow. Okay, because he had taken that vow, I will kill 100 tigers. I wanted to kill them. The king, with all his frenzy and anger and ruthlessness, is as ferocious as the tiger. The king is obviously, he is no less. Okay, he had killed 99 tigers. That is in itself a feat, but it's not a feat to be proud of. But the king was very proud of it. He dies of a silver prick received from the wooden tiger, which was the 100th tiger, that according to the story. So there are various characters: the Tiger King, the astrologer, the secretary of the British officer, the Diwan. He was the king's personal Diwan. The Durai is the wife. Sorry, the Durai is the British officer. There was a high-ranking British officer. He's called the Durai, and in the local language, and Durai Sani is the wife of that British officer. And there were the villagers who were part of his kingdom. The location is pre-independent India, and it's somewhere near here. And the kingdom of Pratibandhapuram. Pratibandh in Hindi, Pratibandh in Hindi means prohibition, right? So this word comes because tigers were prohibited to be killed by anyone else apart from the king. Prohibition Puram. And there are various instances of light humor in the Tiger King. Okay, so if you read it all by yourselves, you must have definitely chuckled, or at least laughed at the funny writing that it is. Very enjoyable. The first one being the instance of the Stuka bomber. So Stuka bomber is let me tell you what Stuka bomber is. Let me just draw one Stuka bomber. Okay, yeah. Okay, not that good at drawing aeroplanes. It should be here. Anyways, whatever. So it was a bomber. It had various bombs attached to it. Okay, the only purpose of this aircraft was to throw bombs at other people. Okay, it was a German-made bomber. Sorry. So the speciality of this was the precision. Okay, it was very precise, but at the target, whatever the target was, it used to just hit exactly at that target, and it used to dive. Okay, so let's say this is the ground and this is the target. So it used to, whenever it used to come like this, it used to dive, and it used to then hit the target with precision. Now, why was it so scary? Number one was precision. Number two was that there were wheels, right? There were wheels here on the wheel covers, and on these wings. The Germans had put whistles. So when it was diving, so the air was passing through those whistles, and there were whistles all around. So this plane used to come with whistles. So everybody used to be scared around the area that a Stuka bomber is coming and we are about to die. So to instill fear, this aircraft was particularly used. It was very people were afraid of this aircraft. So he was saying that even if the Stuka bomber comes, I will not be disturbed. I will not digress from the story. But to the funny aspect of it, in the next sentence itself, he had digressed. Okay. So that was the funny incident of the Stuka bomber. And then we have the 10 years old boy speaking. So usually we don't find 10-year-old boys speaking and also making sense when they're speaking. The king's offer for the mouse hunt. So there was a British officer who wanted to hunt. So the king did not want to allow that. So he said he can go on any hunt. He can go on a mouse hunt. He can go on a cat hunt. I don't care, but he will not go on a tiger hunt. Then we had the offer of marriage. So the king had called the divan, and he had said that I want to marry. So first the divan thought that he wants to marry the divan itself. Then he thought that he wants to marry the gun, and then the king made the divan realize that he wants to marry a girl only. So that was a funny incident in itself. Then we have the inquiry babbling by the divan and the chief astrologer. So they used to talk amongst themselves because they were so scared of the king. The king had to ask them to speak up, and so that, and then the divan procuring an old tiger from the people's park, and its stubborn refusal to get off the car. There was a tiger, the 100th tiger, which was so difficult to find. So the divan got one tiger from the zoo, and it behaved absolutely opposite to what a tiger would behave. It did not want to come out in the jungle. It was so scared of the tiger. It was so scared of the king, and it just went in front of the king, and in humble supplication wanted to be shot by the king. That, what do you command of me, the tiger king? Tell me. So it was behaving absolutely opposite of how a tiger would behave. Then we have the shopkeeper who was quoting like 300 rupees for two and a half anna quart, annas and a quarter toy tiger, because he thought that he would be punished under the Emergency Act if we quoted too less a price for the wooden tiger. Then we have irony and satire. So various instances to find irony and satire. Number one, to reveals the follies of autocratic. What is autocratic? Autocratic is just opposite of democratic. Democracy, everybody has a voice. Autocracy, only one person has a voice. And like only one person will make all the decisions. So folly means faults of autocratic and willful rulers who flout all laws and bend them to suit their selfish needs. So number one, he did not allow anyone else to kill tigers. Number two, there was an incident when in one village there was a news that there's a tiger, so he gave tax holiday to that village for 2 years, 3 years. Then when he went there to kill the tiger, he could not find it, so then he doubled the tax in that same village. So according to his own whims and fancies, he was making the rules. Then there's an irony that only the Tiger King did not know that the bullet had hit him, but everybody else around him knew. Then in his name, which is the first thing we know, that it had such a long name, so he was MADCRCK as well. ACTC was also there. I cannot make sense of why it would be. MAD in itself is mad, CRCK, crack. So the author is giving us subtle hints that the Tiger King was crazy. Then we have a very important clue: operation successful. At the end, we get to see when doctors were called from Madras that you have to operate on the Tiger King. So after coming out from the operation theater, when the king is dead, they say operation successful, the king is dead. This is completely opposite to what a normal normal doctor would say. Here it just goes to show how the king, they were not operating on the king, they were operating on the kingdom. Alright, if they were operating on the kingdom, the king was the infection in that kingdom, because he was not governing that kingdom. He was just doing things on his own, for his own whims and fancies. So when they came out, they said operation successful. That means for the kingdom, the infection that is the king, that is dead. So this is again irony here. And astrology of all the sciences in the world, astrology was proven to be correct. It was the 100th tiger that killed. As you know, there's no science in astrology as such, but it's just, random guessing on some basic principles. So let's say if you guess 100 things, and out of those 100 things, 5 things come true. That's not science, right? So this was astrology, but here again irony that astrology of all the sciences was proven correct. So these are some questions that you have to write in the notebook. So these are 30 to 40 words questions. This one is a longer one, and these are some value points. These are some words that you will use along with the keywords from the chapter. And so let's discuss this. Corruption breeds vanity. Vanity is just pompousness, living a lavish lifestyle. So corruption breeds vanity. So what was the corruption? Was there an instance of corruption in the chapter? There was an instance of bribery. So the king bribed the British officer's wife to let him not kill the tiger. So he had to give her 3 lakh of rupees, rings worth of 3 lakh of rupees. He had to give her a ring. Yeah, let me draw. My drawing is not that good. So let it be. No, still doesn't look like a ring. Anyways. Then we have conceits. Conceits are basically things that are non-existent. Things that conceit basically just means having a very, very big opinion of yourself. Okay, everything else is non-existent to you. Only you are existent. Only you are important. Everything else should be done according to your own wishes. That is conceit. No, you don't care about anybody else, but only for yourself. It's also a literary term. That means something different, where you compare absolutely unlikely things with themselves to each other. That is another thing. But here conceit basically just means that only you are important, you are ignoring everybody else. We have lies, we have disharmony in the kingdom, and we have autocratic ruler with unstable kingdom with his idiosyncrasies Idiosyncrasies are subtle, uh, you know, behavior qualities. Okay, very unlikely, unusual behavior qualities can be called idiosyncrasies. We have he was very obstinate. He was stubborn. Obstinate just means stubborn, because he just wanted to kill 100 tigers, did not want anything else. And he was very egoistic because he did not care about the kingdom. He wanted to tax anybody on his own whims because he was not being fulfilled. He was very insensitive, obviously, and he had no practical approach to problems. Then there were puppets around his kingdom, the divan especially, and shows how spread muscle power and how to spread muscle power and fear. Because he was the king, he could do anything to anyone, right? And he was, nobody wanted to displease the ruler, and nobody was ready to tell him that whatever you're doing is absolutely stupid. You're just ignoring everything and you're doing things for your own benefit. Astrologer was the exception there, because he told him that you can do whatever you want. This one tiger won't kill you. He actually told him whatever the thing was as it is, that it will be the 100 tiger that will kill you. He is not afraid of the Tiger King, because uh, he's telling him on his face that you will die and that you are not infallible and the 100 tiger will kill you. The Divan is not serious. See, Divan is not serious in suggesting good things to the Tiger King, but he's just telling him whatever he wants to hear. So he's also scared there that way. These are the board questions. This is what you will do in your notebook. Okay, I'm giving it as an assignment in the Google Classroom as well. And all of you have to do it by tomorrow evening. Tomorrow we discuss a poem. So if there is any doubt in this chapter here, I don't think there should be any doubt. The chapter is the most is the easiest and one of the most funny chapters in the book. And if there is any doubt, if you want me to explain a particular passage, particular instance, you will have to tell me. There's no point in me explaining the whole chapter, because it's English. We have been reading English since 12 years or whatever, 13 years. You do understand English. Anything that you find difficult in understanding, tell me. I will explain it in the video. And so these questions are this it came in 2020, this year, February. These people have answered this question: what made the Maharaj think in gloom? It was a 6 marker, so don't take this chapter lightly. 6 mark questions also come from this chapter. And don't think if it has come this year, it will not come next year. It can come. Anything can come. Don't risk your life just because it has come this year. It will not come next year. Don't think that. What made the Maharaj sink in gloom? So these are eight questions which have come from 2012 to 2020 in the Tiger, from the Tiger King. I have to answer all of them. I have written the marks as well, okay, and the word limit as well. So you have to attempt these in your notebook. 8 questions only. So this is a tiger to end the video for you. One of the most beautiful creatures on earth, and people just go and do this to them. These people are one of the most useless people you will ever see on earth, you know. And they have also left a photograph for them, for us to see. The most stupid, like, what are they even? Yeah, this is reality. This happens, and they are proud of it, that they have killed a tiger with a gun, okay, standing 100 feet away. If they could kill someone bare feet, no, let it be. I'm just blabbering. So you have to do these questions now. 8 questions in your notebook by tomorrow evening. Good night and good afternoon.